a greater challenge. This is the challenge that um, asks us to think greater, speak greater, and have greater. If you're just joining us, I encourage you to go back and check out previous days. You can find it on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. And just go back and see what it is that the Lord has been saying. It's been a process with us, and we find ourselves here, and I'm glad about it. I'm glad about it. God has shown himself in so many ways during this time. If you have not done it for 21 days, I really encourage you to go beyond what we're doing. I plan on going beyond. There is so much that God is revealing through this process, and I'm grateful. Like I said yesterday, tests come to show you where you are and where you're not. The test is actually, I feel like the test is our friend. It may not feel like it, but the test is the thing that lets you know what still needs to be done, what you still haven't quite learned yet. Okay. Um, Today we're going to be talking about trust. We've been talking about how we are. Um, my um, my words, my declaration. There we go. My declaration has been that I am faith filled. And then there have been other, side notes or subtopics or whatever. But I'm faith filled, and I am. Um, this morning, yesterday I talked about distractions and being focused, making sure that I'm focused. Um, it came, and I'm thinking, okay, this thing's trying to steal my peace. Then I'm like, okay, let's see what was the other thing that kept. I know it was peace, peace, peace. Like I kept talking about, choosing peace. Peace is my lot. Peace is my portion. Um, and I was declaring that I was focused because sometimes I've heard my pastor say, sometimes the enemy throws something to get you distracted, and you waste your energy on that, and then you aren't prepped for the real fight. By the time the real fight comes, you're worn out because you were going after this other stuff. And so I repented yesterday for being distracted, and really just declared that I am focused. I am focused. Um, Bishop also, Bishop Presley, my pastor, also talks about how Bishop Presley also talks about how everything that the enemy throws is really after our faith. And the word says, without faith, it's impossible to please God. Um, he's just, whatever he's throwing, he's trying to make us not trust God. Okay. So when I woke up this morning, like when I wake up, I usually just try to be in this place of, okay, God, what we're going to do today. Whenever other things start to come on my mind first, it bothers me because I don't feel like that's the order. That's not how it should be. And so over the past few days, I have found stuff competing against God for my attention. And I made up my mind this morning that the things that keep interrupting my time with God, I either have to put them in their place or I need to put them out. I need to just put it to death. And so I'm doing some evaluating. Because nothing can be in competition with my God. Nothing. He is on my throne. He's on the throne of my heart. Okay? And so nothing, I won't allow anything to feel like it's got me off with him. When that happens, I need to check it. So, this morning, the scripture that came to my heart was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your paths. And I told Lord I need his help. I need his help. And you know where it's easy for us to say, "Oh, I trust God. I trust. I trust God with it." But do we? How you know you trust him? I say, how you know? How do you know you trust God? We only know when our faith is tested. Like it's a given, kind of. You think it's a given until it's required. And then what if you ain't got it out there? What if you can't produce it? Um, I feel like trust is an action verb. Like to trust is not just to say, Lord, I trust you. Lord, I believe in you. God, I have faith in you. Y'all, that's not enough. Like we will only know we trust God when it's tested. That's the only way we're going to know. Um, we have to trust God when life gets rough. We have to trust him when we don't know what the future holds. We have to trust him when we cannot trace him, when we don't understand, when we don't know how it's going to work out. When it, like the thing that started coming to me too, honey, trust most times is not logical, so to speak. Because some of the things that God requires us to do or tells us to do, like there is no way we would do them on our own. It's just not logical, but it works. Me sitting in front of this computer right now would not have been logical for me. I don't care who would have tried to convince me, it would not have been logical at all. But I so know that it was God. I so know that it was him. And so we gotta, number one, I was thinking about how do you build trust? Because trust is not only hearing it, you can hear a lot, but do you trust him to do it? The obedience part of it. Faith or trust, faith without works is what? Dead. It doesn't matter how much we say it. If we don't work our trust, if we don't work that faith, put it in operation, put it in action, it means nothing, y'all. Um, so I started thinking, okay, how do we build trust? How do we build trust? Well, it's through relationship. Very rarely do you meet somebody and there's an instant trust. If so, might need to rethink it. But God has a reputation with us, not only with us, with those who have come before us, but through relationship, I get to know him for myself. He has proven himself to me over and over and over again. He's proven himself. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. I have a cousin, Larry Williamson, who says, God's credit is all right with me. He got good credit with me. And he does. Oh, God's credit is perfect with me. Some of the times, y'all, it wouldn't have been what I would have chosen, but I trust him. Were there times when I was upset? He can handle it. Me having an issue with something does not move God. He knows me. He knows me. Um, even when I've had three siblings to pass away from cancer. And with each one, I thought, oh, they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. And went through some things, right after my sister. I had a brother pass away in '01, a sister in '09, and a brother in 2017. And after my sister's death, I took a while and I was like, okay, now God, can we talk? Can we talk? Um, and he did. He explained it to me. Not that he had to, but he did. When my brother passed away, y'all, I just knew that my brother was gonna be healed. We had the talk, we had the and I had to be okay with the fact that God decided differently. And even me, this is me, I believe that there are times when God allows an individual to decide. When they say, I'm ready, I feel like that's their decision. Um, and after that time, I had to really, when my last brother passed away, like, yeah, I went berserk for a quick minute, um, in privacy, but I really just went to screaming and hollering and like, just God, what are you doing? Like, what for real? What are you doing? But at the end of the day, I trust him, y'all. I think I told y'all earlier last week, sometime or another, I heard this song. Lady was like, he's been doing this a long time. He knows what he's doing. And he does. He does. And I trust him, y'all. Our yes, oh, when you start that, yes, God, oh, yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes. We don't know what all is wrapped up in that yes. Do you hear me? You have no idea what all is inside that yes. But what I do know is I can trust the one that I'm saying yes to. Oh, I can trust the one that I'm saying yes to. I can release everything, fall in his arms, and know that he will not let me go. No matter what it ever looks like, no matter what it feels like. And even right now, y'all, I ain't in no rough place. I'm really not in a rough place. But I just know, life has twists and turns. Life is just life. And I guess what put me in the little emotional places is that yes requires trust. And when we say it from a real place, God knows it. And I do. I trust him with my life. I trust him with every decision. I trust him with every person that I love because I know he loves them so much greater and so much more perfect than I ever could. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So, yeah, kind of in I guess, an emotional place, but like I say, y'all, not even, it's not bad. It's just, I trust him. I trust him. And I guess trust, it requires you to take your hands off. It requires you to know that we're never in control like we think we are, but trusting makes you relinquish the control you think you have. It makes you take your hands off and say, whatever you say, God. And that's where I am. Whatever he says, my answer will always be yes. So, my declaration for today, I am faith filled. I trust God, period. There is no room for buts. I trust Him with all my heart. What I think I understand means nothing. So I bring Him into every area of my life and I ask Him to give me direction. When I acknowledge Him, I had first written, if I acknowledge Him, He will. Ain't no if. When I acknowledge Him, He will. Not might nor maybe. He will direct my paths. I trust him, y'all. This has been One More Minute with Marcy. Join me tomorrow for another moment of momentum producing motivation. Everybody stay encouraged. And remember, you got to flutter before you can fly. But flying is in your future. I love y'all.